It's the motherfucking player haters ball. Ooh, yeah. That's right, guys. I am on location and on a vacation. Kind of. Ray's got something going on for work, and I decided to accompany her as I typically do. And we're down here in West Palm Beach. So here we go. I figured I had to bring my laptop and I had to bring the goodness that is. It's obviously a podcast for the player haters ball to you guys. So strap in or get a strap on, whichever one you want to do. Because we're going to break down week 4 for you guys. So I hope everybody's had a good week. I hope you guys enjoyed the new hoodie I got there. Love it. Bouncing around here in West Palm in my Braves gear. So, anyways, let's get right into it. Let's talk about last week. Let's talk about the fact that there was some upsets, and let's talk about the fact that I was one of those. I don't like talking about it, but we'll do it anyways. So last week I faced off against Brian, and I will say that I was not happy with my team's performance. Number one, I dealt with some injuries. Oh my gosh, go figure, right? Baseball, fantasy, injuries, they kind of go hand in hand, right? Lost out on some potential strikeouts with Christopher Sanchez. Dustin May sucks balls. And I just want to point out one clear fact. Scared money don't make money. We've been talking about the Gators in the chat here recently, and if you know, you know. Iyick. If you know, you know. That is one Billy Napier's statement. If scared money don't make money. And I was a scared little bitch and didn't play Gavin Williams on Monday. That set the tone for the rest of the week. He got 8 strikeouts, got a win, got a quality start at the Yankees, had a very respectable ERA. And Brian, had I played Gavin Williams, we would have tied in wins. We would have tied in quality starts. And I believe that would have put us in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5. No, 5-5 because you got OBP. So we would have tied had I not. And I know what you're fixing to say, but let me go ahead and remind you, Jose Barrios did not last 6 innings. Therefore, he did not get a quality start, and he did not get the win. So, like I said, it set the tone for the rest of the week, and we were that close. One win and 1 quality start away from being tied, and I benched the one guy that could have got it for me, and he got moved from his start yesterday, he being Gavin Williams, to today. So, missed out on some starts, missed out on some strikeouts, missed out on some lower ERA, a little bit of the lowering whip, and we would have tied 5-5. However, it is what it is, and that's why you slow your roll there, Brian. You didn't beat this ass. I beat my own ass. And that sounds like my Friday night. So I won't get into too much detail, but I dominated you in home runs. We were very close in runs, RBIs, kind of in stolen bases. The average in OBP came down to Sunday. Again, Sunday just kills so many people's ratios. But yeah, Brian, to the victor go the spoils. Congratulations. But that's all I'm going to say. Trippin' Billy's faced off against Nick, Mikasas Sukasas, and Nick took this one. This was one of our matchups of the week based off of their standings, and Nick did not disappoint, but I did not really take a look at the stats overall, but let's go ahead and look at it now, shall we? So, Shane was ranked second last week, I believe. I believe I was ranked first, and he was facing off against Nick, who I think was fifth. I can't remember, but anyways, let's look at it. Runs, very close. Home runs, Mikasas took him in that by 3. They tied in RBIs. Mikasa Sukasas won by 5 in the stolen bases. Shane not really doing well in the average department, but OBP a little bit better. You guys had some pretty good pitching numbers. These are respectable. 395, 1.35 on the whip. Very close. Again, wins and quality starts, but it was a balance. That's the way that I look at it. It's a balance of these two guys, and when they meet again, who knows how it's going to go. But when you look at overall, these two teams were pretty much equally matched, it feels like, especially when you're close in the runs, you tie in the RBIs, very close in the average, and not too much really to be left to be decided when it comes to your pitching categories either. So when you two face off again, I believe that you both will probably still be highly ranked, and this might go the other way next time. So slow your roll there, Nick, in thinking that you dominated Shane, but the two of you still get to maintain your top 6 position moving on into this week. Again, not really going to break down too much. It's kind of a little bit harder to navigate with this slow-ass computer, which is my laptop. But it is what it is. We move on. Bench warmers and Mandalorians faced off, and bench warmers projectile himself, I think, out of the bottom 6 and into the top 6, just beating Scott and Mandalorians. However, when you look underneath the hood, how close was this matchup? Well, Josh left no doubts, as he will again this week in the batting department. 302 batting average to a 223 that Mandalorians had. The OBP also almost .400 for Josh, .300 on the dot for Scott. And again, Mandalorians is running away with some speed, and they tied Josh in home runs. Josh has been complaining a little bit about not getting any home runs, and he ended up tying Mandalorians. Excuse me. Now, again, Josh and Scott both had the same amount of 4. We just don't hear Scott bitching at all. I'm just kidding, Josh. But the runs and the RBIs were definitely there for Josh, as well as the average in the OBP. Now, looking at the pitching, close in the category of quality starts and pitching across the board. They both tied in wins at 4 apiece there, and save plus holds, a margin of 1. The whip and the ERA were vastly different, almost a point of a difference in the ERA department, and 14 strikeouts separated the two. So as you look at it overall, Josh has got a team that just is slowly developing. Matt Olson has not done what he's needed to do. Salvador Perez, he's a workhorse, man, and he's going to give you weeks where he just crushes the ball, and then there's other weeks where he just, like this week, just hits for average. And that whole Kansas City team has got to figure stuff out. You're batting with Aaron Judge. Need we say more? One week he's going to destroy balls, depends on where he's at. And then other times he's just going to give you solid numbers across the board. But again, I mean, we're seeing that the Yankees are, if not, they are one of the highest strikeout rate teams. And if Aaron Judge is the only one that's producing, which a 458 clip this week, not going to be driving in a lot of RBIs if nobody's on base for you. Just saying. So, and you just traded for Lawrence Butler, so you got a lot of power on your team. Lawrence Butler, Marcell Ozuna, Aaron Judge, Matt Olson, Salvador Perez. These are your power guys. And you're not lacking in speed either when it comes to Jarren Duran. He's one of the fastest guys. I had said I wasn't going to look at your players, but look at me. I guess I'm looking at them now. And on the flip side, a little bit of a letdown there for Mandalorians. He's got one of the better pitching squads when you think about it, with Tariq Skubal. Tyler Malley's been pretty good. Zach Gallen is, and Cole Reagans didn't do well for you. So, I say one of the better. He's got some good pitchers on his team. But needless to say, 9-1, Josh destroys Mandalorians. Hitman versus Swinging and Missing. This is another week where Eric is just getting the messages ready for the chat that says, see, I told y'all. See, I told y'all. But the bottom line is, we also just seen what Swinging and Missing did, and that was he made some trades this week. One of the ones that was probably the biggest one to date was he traded away his number 1 pick, the number 2 overall batter in week 4 of a 22 regular season, was traded away in Bobby Witt. I mean, ish libadish, my gosh. Okay, I mean, but he got his boy. Let's just say it. You've got a man crush on Bryce Harper. It's fine. We all understand I've got a man crush on Paul Goldschmidt. Austin Riley's got the best blue eyes in the business. There's a few people that we all know and love, and it was just a matter of time before Bryce Harper ended on your team and then comes to either mine or Shane's. Just a matter of time, just saying. But let's say for what it is, Eugenio Suarez just had himself a day against the Braves, and yet wasn't enough for him to beat the Braves. 4 home runs in one day for Eugenio Suarez. He won't hit another home run for 3 more weeks. I don't know. He hasn't hit any, I know, and he didn't hit any last night. He went and grabbed up Bo Bichette, and now he's about to turn his season around. Again, when you start to look at Eric's roster now, Bryce Harper, Willem Contreras, Bo Bichette, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Josh Jung, Anthony Santander, Cedric Mullins. This is a pretty good batting lineup. It was kind of shitty a couple of days ago. I don't know what making that one trade did, but, you did have Bobby Witt. Luis Arias getting hurt is not a bad thing. I think it made you make the decision, and you're about to get Ketel Marte back. If you're paying attention, you better watch, because he's traveling with the team. So I don't know if you're watching this, Eric, but focus up, okay? All right. And again, traded away and dropped Vinny Pasquantino, who has been dubbed this year's Village Bicycle Player of the League. Who's going to pick up Vinny P next? Who knows? It'll probably be Walker again. And yeah, so when you look at it overall, we didn't even cover your stats. Against the Hitman, you beat him by 5 runs, 4 home runs. Wonder where those 4 home runs came from. And with those 4 home runs, you beat him by 1 RBI. So, I mean, you play Eugenio Suarez, but that's all you got. Literally, that's all Eric got. Those 3, I'm sorry, he got one more. He got quality starts, 6. Other than that, Hitman didn't need the rest. He beat you in stolen bases, beat you in average, beat you in OBP, beat you by 2 wins, close in the strikeouts. He destroyed you by 2 points plus in the ERA, okay, by 0.15 in the, okay? So, and yes, the quality starts and the saves were pretty close. But I expect that Eric's team now moving forward is going to start looking a little bit different. And it's going to be a little bit more competitive moving forward based off of the moves that he's recently made. Now, again, he just traded away just 2 people. But I feel like that there's a difference here with Bryce Harper on your team. I don't know why. Again, I feel like Bobby Witt would have been just fine, but I feel like there's just something there. I don't know what it is. And plus, like I said, you're fixing to get Ketel Marte back. That's going to be a lineup, top to bottom from batters. Willem, Bryce, Ketel. I guess at third, you're going to have teetering or between Eugenio and Josh Jung, Bo Bichette, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Cedric. Yeah, that's That's a fantasy baseball team, if I do say so myself. And you're pitching, you're about to lose Tyler Glass now. Let's just call it for what it is. And don't be bitching about it. You draft players that are fragile, that have these injuries. Expect that this shit's going to happen, okay? Just like with Mike Trout. We've been saying that too. He's going to see the IL this year. Market 8, okay? All right, moving the fuck on. Rayford did the Lord's work this week. She faced up against Walker. She redeemed me, I guess, in the matchup and defeated Rally Monkey 7-4. Ray did not get the home runs. They tied in RBIs. She did do a little bit more in the stolen base department. This was a close matchup, and Walker already said it. He stated it. Ray won the close categories. She won the close ones. She won only by 3 runs. They tied in RBIs. She won by 2 stolen bases. The average was very close. The OBP was very close. Hell, a stat correction could probably give Walker one or the OBP. Very close in the wins. She took him by 3 strikeouts, which is even crazier to think of when it comes to that's his pitching squad. But beat him in quality starts, which again is very crazy when you think about what Walker did on draft day, and beat him in saves plus holds. So, I mean, here we are. Ray's, doing things. She turned a little bit of a corner this week with that matchup. She's still in 11th place, but I mean, when you start to look at, her lineup, stupid buttons. There we go. Jazz Chisholm is going to wake up. Jose Ramirez has been a little bit slow out of the gate. I'm not really excited about who she has at shortstop right now. But she didn't want to, entertain Bo Bichette either, just so we're not. Bryson Stott, I mean, he is who he is. Dylan Moore's been doing some pretty good things. She's got a lot of shortstops. Xander Bogaerts, Dylan Moore, Otto Lopez. I mean, she'll find something there. So, and we all know what Walker is at this point. It's just week to week, player to player. He picks up Sean Murphy, and I wish I would have picked him up, but he picks up Sean Murphy, and Sean Murphy hits the most home runs for his team. I'm sorry, Jorge Polanco does. Okay, my bad. So Jorge Polanco is not the guy that, is putting up these numbers week to week. But, anyways, she's got a pretty good pitching staff and was able to showcase that she can hang with the big dog in Walker. And that's why she won 7-4. And that knocked Walker out of the top 6. No, wait, he was 7th. I do remember that one. And down into 8th place. And last but not least, let's talk about the tortured baseball department and troubled shooters. This win puts Jason above yours truly by a margin of 6-5. Very close matchup here. Here we go. Let's look at it. This was a balancing act on the board here. One stat, batting-wise, went to Jason. All of the pitching stats went to Jason, and the batting stats that Jesus took were basically his. He won by 4 runs, 2 home runs, 4 ribbies, and 11 stolen bases. Again, Jesus also has a team that is just running wild. But they tied in wins. And the rest, again, like I said, yes, the ERA was close. Yes, the whip was close. The strikeouts were close. Again, what we're saying is this is a close matchup, again, between these two boys. And, as long as things start to shape up like everybody is hoping to, it looks like Jesus has already kind of cemented himself as a team to watch out for this season. He just went and acquired Michael Busch from Eric. He also got Bobby Witt. He grabbed up Noelvi Marte of Cincinnati. He's got Tommy Edman, Kyle Schwarber, Pete Crow Armstrong. These are all relatively kind of new names, I guess, to draft. And some of them not really Kyle Schwarber, but again, he's picking up guys and he's holding on to guys that are putting up some nice numbers. Geraldo Perdomo is just going to basically silence all of us, in my opinion. But again, you look over at Jason's team. He's got the heavy hand of Pete Alonso, Jake Berger. He's got the speedy Xavier Edwards, but you got to get on base. He's got the speedy Randy Arozarena that he grabbed up for free, the heavy hand of Adolis Garcia that will not hit his weight in average, but will crush balls. And then he's also got Wyatt Langford. Wyatt comes back and just destroys leather. And he's also got the young Jackson Churio. So again, when you look at Jason, when you look at Jesus, you see two teams that from top to bottom, they pretty much have a really good staff. And it's going to take injuries that are going to keep them away from being in the top six like they already are. So, having said all of that, let us look at the Week 5 matchups. Look at that. I said I wasn't going to go very long, and it's already 21 minutes into this bad boy. So, myself and Josh will face off against each other this week. Trip and Billy's will face off against the aforementioned Jesus. Mikasa Sukasis will face off against the Hitman. Mandalorians will face off against the Tortured Baseball Department. Ray will face off against Brian. Brian's already stated that he will bury 2 Dobsons in 2 weeks. And Swingin' and Missin' will face off against Walker. Well, we always go with the matchups that are between the top 6 as your matchups of the week. So again, we kind of have to just say that myself and Josh, Shane, and Jesus are some ones to watch. But I want to watch Rally Monkeys and Eric. I always love when these two play each other. I always love the dialogue, the back and forth. It's 7 days of pure bliss, and I'm here for it. I'm all about it. So, yes, we have the 2 teams that are in the top 6, but I want these 2 guys to get their flowers, if you will. I want their moment to shine right here. That's going to be the matchup I'm going to be excited about to talk about next week and to see how it all shakes out. Okay? Because, again, like I said, Eric, he's got some bats, pitching, and Rally Monkeys, he's got a team that when you lose to him, like this guy, especially the batters, basically just throw your hands up. Like, why do we waste this draft capital on these players that are going to face off against these no-name pieces of shit that, yes, they're in the leagues and they get an opportunity. But anyways, that's my secret matchup of the week. That's the one I'm going to be watching. Well, you guys, I really don't have anything else. I got to go get dressed for some stupid after party that the wife's going to be attending or taking me to or something. And I believe we're frozen. I'm not sure what's happening here. I believe that we're a little frozen, but I do see that the timer is going, so it's probably a good idea for me to stop there before the computer decides to take a shit. So, again, guys, have yourself a great week. I have enjoyed this moment with you guys, and we should be back at home base next Monday. So, for all of us here at, for me, in the hotel room inside of West Palm Beach, have yourself a good week, and I'll lead you out with the song again. I was drawing a blank there for a second. It's the motherfucking player haters.